Hey, Ronnie Dahl, fourwheeling at westernaustralia.com, and I am here today with the brand new 2017 Toyota Landcruiser 70 series. This one here in particular is the 79 series. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's actually early November 2016, and Travis from PDP has acquired this 2017 model. So this is the first one that's been released in Western Australia of the dual cab version. To order any, you're going to be waiting till February 2017. So in this video, I'm going to go over first impressions, what's different with it. We're also going to stick it on the dyno, just in the workshop here, and we're going to see the exact power that comes out of this vehicle. Now, quite a few things have changed on it, and quite a few things have stayed the same. So we're going to go through and just look at everything. Now my version is a 2013, which was one of the first. This is the first in Western Australia, 2017. And one notable difference is the bonnet scoop. Now the whole hood, the bonnet, is completely different. Bigger bulge on it, I reckon it looks awesome, it looks tough. I want this bonnet on mine. This looks awesome. But I spoke to Toyota as we picked it up, and they told me that they've done this for increased air intake. So they've flattened it from the front and sort of scooped it all the way in to get increased air intake. Another difference that I noticed was on this snorkel here. It's got these ripples on the inside, but it's still using these big golf tees. Now this isn't a snorkel either, it's not waterproof. This has to be considered a air intake, a raised air intake. That's pretty much it. Something else that's brand new to the 2017 model is the auto hubs. So basically you've got two options on this hub. One is auto and the other is lock. And to change it, you need your tie rod to change it. If you leave it on auto, when you're in the vehicle and you go into four-wheel drive, whether it's high or low, when you're moving forward and you're putting drive to the front, it'll automatically click in and it'll give you four-wheel drive. However, if you reverse, say you get bogged and you reverse, it's going to click out of four-wheel drive. So in order to be true four-wheel drive, you should really get your tie rod out and click it to lock. If you leave it in auto, it'll be fine, but if you get stuck and you need to rock backwards and forwards, you're probably going to sink the rear. So just keep that in mind. If you are anticipating some rough stuff or you are going full driving for the majority of the day, just lock it in. Now we've stuck a measuring tape on the wheelbase to see if it's any different. It's not. It's the same as the previous 2013 to 2016 model. No difference in that. This is still the longest wheelbase version of the 70 series. It's actually got the same wheelbase as the single cab, and how I found out about that was when I needed a new tail shaft for my dual cab 70, it was the exact same part number as for a single cab 70. One thing that they haven't changed, which I wish they would have changed, is the spacing of the wheel track. So the front wheel track is still 100mm wider overall as opposed to the rear wheel track. So you're still going to have to correct that. So I suppose for businesses that make the track correction and chrome moly diffs and all that stuff, the accessories you can get for it, it's good news for you guys, but bad news for the guys who don't want to spend the big bucks to fix the track. Of course, you could go spacers, which are highly illegal, or you can change the wheel offset like I have on my 70 series. And the problem with the wheel track is, not so much on the highway, more so if you're on the sand, the back wheels and the front wheels are all pushing more sand because they're not in the same track. That is the main issue. So as far as clearance goes to the front diff pumpkin, it's about 230mm or 9 inches. And the rear is down to 210mm or down to 8 inches, thereabouts. Now the reason why there's a difference between the front and the rear is the front diff pumpkin is slightly smaller than the rear diff pumpkin. All right, now to the interior. New car smell. Gotta love new car smell. All right, so I'm sitting here looking over the bonnet. It's definitely significantly higher. It looks a lot higher from inside the vehicle. I wonder, when you put a bull bar on, if you can actually see the edge of the vehicle. I believe you would, because on the edges, it's still at the same height as the other bonnet is, but geez, this bonnet or hood is, it's mean looking. I love it. I so want that on mine. Hope they fit. If they do fit, I'm going to buy one. Anyway, to the interior. So I'm sitting here and everything here is pretty much the same as the 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16 model. All the same, the interior. The only difference that you can see is we've got traction control down here. There's a button there. So that'll be interesting to see how this goes with traction control. And on the other side, we've got the DPF button. So DPF, well, diesel particle filter system, which says on the door there. Basically, it burns off all the carbon and all the soot that gets trapped into the module, and it's to make cleaner emissions. So it's good for the environment. My only concern with this DPF system, though, is these systems underneath, the DPF modules, can get up to 750 degrees Celsius in temperature. I'm not sure how hot this one will get, but that's about what the European DPF systems will get up to in temperature. And my concern is it's so low underneath the vehicle. When you drive out into the Australian deserts here, and there's a lot of spinifex, there's a lot of tall grass, a lot of, in a dry, hot climate, my concern is that thing underneath is going to get too hot and actually set the bush on fire. So basically my concern is that these parks and wildlife people might ban the DPF fitted vehicles from entering the national parks and the reserves, but hopefully they don't. Hopefully it's not an issue. Other than that, the interior is pretty much the same. You would have thought that in a vehicle like the 70, being a dual cab vehicle, they would have put more than 2 speakers in the vehicle. They still only come with 2 front speakers and a very basic stereo. I think the CD player these days are getting a bit retro. It does have a USB port here. There's no speakers in the back, but there's 3 ashtrays. The seats feel a little bit different, and I think they're shaped slightly different. A bit more padding on them. I actually feel more comfortable sitting in them. The center console is still the same. 1 drink holder, 1 phone holder. You do still get your 12-volt outlet. This pathetic little center console here, I really would have thought they would have done something here, but oh well. Cruise control. These new models come with cruise control, which is a pretty cool addition, I guess. Don't have to pay the extra money to fit one, to retrofit one. You got your diff lock, like you do in the other models. You got your antenna control. We can get the antenna up and down. I recommend, if you buy one of these, rip this straight out if you're going into the bush, and then just put an antenna on your bull bar or something. The back seats are still the same, and you can basically flip them forward. You can pull this lever, and then the whole thing folds over. But you got to take the headrest out. Another notable thing: these 70 series Landcruisers, the dual cab, they don't come with child restraints in the rear, so you will need to add your own child restraints in it. Travis from PDP has actually gone and got them in before the car got released, so I had a modification plate straight away on it. I don't know why they don't do it, because the main people that buy a dual cab Landcruiser like this are people that want to go some serious full driving or touring and take the whole family with them. So you'd think they put child restraints in the rear, but they don't. As far as seating goes in the back, it's the same as the other one. Not so great for adults, not great at all, but for kids, it's really good because you're sitting up so high and the kids can see everything. My kids love it in my Landcruiser because the window is so big and they're sitting up much higher than the front. They can see as much as the driver and the front passenger can. And not only that, it's really easy to get the kids in and out of the car because you're not bending down either. So that's another bonus. So they haven't changed the seat in these. Okay, so we're at the noise end of the vehicle. Well, it's not really the noise end. I reckon the engine's louder than the exhaust until the exhaust is going to be changed. Now, PDP are going to figure out how to run a 3-inch system through the DPF module, or the filter in the front. This is a 2.5-inch exhaust pipe, and once you put a 3-inch pipe on it, straight away they breathe better. So I'm hanging to see how much difference it makes on this version. I know on the version beforehand, they run stock 8 to 9 PSI on your turbo boost. As soon as you add a 3-inch exhaust, you can get as high as 11 to 13 PSI on your boost. That's what happened to mine before I got mine custom tuned. So we're now going to have a look underneath the hood or the bonnet. Man, I love the look of that bonnet. Oh, it's heavier. A lot heavier than the old version. All right. Doesn't look too different in here at all. Notable difference is that the injectors, this new technology, before, or in my version, or the version before this one, they're more like a coil or solenoid style. In this one here, it's a Penzo. And I don't really know the technical details of it, but all I know, and I've been told, is that there's a lot more control in them and a lot more efficient. So this new system with the air scoop and everything, they claim that you get better fuel economy on them. I don't know exactly how much better it is, but they claim you get a couple of litres or 1 litre better per 100 litres. If you read the factory specs on the vehicle, it's like all vehicles. What they tell you is in a controlled environment, that is the litre per 100 that they claim the vehicles will use. You can always add another 1 or 2 litres to what the spec sheet says. Okay, so having a bit of a look, I found this accessory fuse box. There is one on the other side that comes with the previous model of this as well, but this one here is different, is new. So basically, add accessories to your vehicle, you can put all your fuses in here. Towing, driving lamps, bull bar, canopy, lights, winch outlet, winch control. Interesting. Before we do the dyno run, I just want to let you know that 5th gear has been changed in the new Landcruiser. They've now changed the ratio. So now on the freeway, driving back with these stock tyres on it, at 100 kilometres per hour, it was sitting on pretty much dead smack on 2000 RPM, which is a big improvement as opposed to the older version. Although the 5th gear has been improved on it, it could really still use a 6th gear. But it's an improvement and it's better than nothing. Okay, so what you're looking at here, the dotted line is the torque curve, and the solid line with no dots is the kilowatts. And as you can see here, it holds torque at 350 Newton meters really well, all the way through. That's a beautiful torque curve. That's better than the other ones though, than the standard. I mean, the ones before this.
The response is better, the drivability is better.
Yeah, and you reckon that's due to injectors, the new injectors?
Yeah, it feels better on the road. It's quieter to drive.
Yeah. And yeah, the power's a lot more straight as well.
Yeah, a lot more control.
So, a bit of an oversight earlier. I forgot to mention about the airbags. Now, in the dual cab, the wagon and the troop carrier, they don't have curtain airbags. but the single cab Landcruiser does have them, the single cab 70 series. Now my take on why they've done that must be because of the mines, the mining sector here in Australia. They require a 5 cap star rating. In order to do that, you must have X amount of airbags in the vehicle. And I think that's also why they've updated the crumble zones on the vehicle, but at the same time increased the airflow to the bonnet scoop or to the intercooler. So the only trouble you're going to have with the single cab cruiser now is you may not be able to put the side rails or maybe even the side steps on a single cab because of the curtain airbag. It may affect that. Also, you can't put pillar pods in the single cab cruiser, but you can still do everything. Everything should still bolt on to all the other models of cruisers because nothing's really changed on the chassis or at the front that I know of and that I can find in any of the specs or pamphlets. So everything at the shop should still bolt straight on, which is great news. And you can still run pillar pods in your 79 double cab, the wagon and the troop carrier. Oh, one other thing that might be a bit of an issue to get sorted, which these boys here should sort out, is the DPF module. To run a 3-inch exhaust system, that's going to take a bit of research and development, but I'm sure these guys will get on top of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they are going to do. And if you want to see what they can do, what they're going to do about it, because there's going to be videos coming up on their YouTube channel, head to the link here and check out what they are going to do about the engine mods in this. I really look forward to seeing it. I think this thing's going to turn into a beast. So Travis is going to do a lot of, or PDP are going to do a lot of research and development on this vehicle. They're the same guys who have done all the research and development on my vehicle. So this vehicle will drive completely different by next week. So big things are going to happen here. I'm looking forward to seeing how much they're going to build this vehicle up after they're done with the engine. So watch this space and stay tuned on this channel. So I'd like to know what you think. What do you think about the DPF module? Do you think it's going to be a problem out in the bush like I mentioned earlier? Perhaps could start a fire. What do you think of the new bonnet? Do you love it? And do you think they've changed enough on the updated version? And are you still upset like I am about the rear wheel track? They still haven't sorted it out. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support the creation of content like this, you can go up here to patreon.com/Ronnie Dahl, and I'll see you in the next video.